Now, am I the only one who was impressed by Sakura Street Fighter V story mode? Now, at first, I was not the biggest fan of Sakura. She had a very childish attitude, and the way she said pleased to meet you before a fight, I just really didn't like that. Maybe you did, but personally, I just didn't. So throughout Street Fighter 4, I can certainly say that I was not the biggest fan of Sakura. But the change really came when Street Fighter 5 released and I played the story mode. Now when Sakura joined Street Fighter 5, she was no longer wearing her schoolgirl attire. She was now wearing a collared t-shirt, a dress, and some Doc Martens, and I'm a huge fan of Doc Martens, so let's just say I was a huge fan of Sakura's new design. This looked to be a more mature, brand new version of Sakura. But then she said pleased to meet you again in her intro, and I fucking hated her again. Just kidding, that didn't happen. The thing that really changed my mind about Sakura was the Street Fighter V story mode. To my surprise, it was actually good. Like, who would have known that such a poorly written game like Street Fighter V could actually make a good story mode? Like, say it ain't fucking so. Now, if you're not familiar with Sakura Street Fighter V story mode, I'll be glad to sum it up real quick. The story goes, Sakura has a friendly sparring match with her best friend Karen. After the match, Sakura questions the purpose of fighting. As Sakura is getting older, she's no longer finding fun in fighting as she once did in her youth. Karen asks if she would say the same thing in front of Ryu, which immediately changes Sakura's mood. Sakura really wants to see Ryu, but can't afford to lose her part-time job that's funding her school. Karen, being a good friend, contacts Ryu to come check up on Sakura. The two meet up, and after having a friendly sparring match, Sakura asks him the same question she asked Karen earlier. What is the point of fighting if you just get stronger to eventually grow weaker with age and then die? Sakura suggests that maybe having kids was her purpose, due to it being able to create new bonds and something to carry on her legacy with. Sakura finally realizes her purpose and thanks Ryu. Then immediately gets embarrassed and then tells him that she doesn't want kids now. Ryu chuckles and then it ends. Now this story mode was an absolute game changer. Actually seeing character development in Sakura was super cool to see. She started off as a young, determined high school student, fighting to be just like her idol Ryu, and was a hobby. But as she got older, the magic she once saw as a kid was slowly corroded away. That goal didn't seem like it was worth chasing anymore, as it started to seem pointless to her because it didn't benefit her in the future. She was no longer a young, brash teenager. She became an adult and questioned what was even worth chasing. Now this is some seriously deep shit, and for the first time I think I'm actually relating to a Street Fighter character. You see, as a kid, I was always striving to be the best at soccer. That was my sport. And not to toot my own horn, but I was actually really fucking good at it. But I soon started to realize that there's always going to be someone better than me. So that got me thinking, since so little of us actually go on to play into the major leagues, what was the point of wasting my time on something that is rarely prosperous for anyone? Now, seeing Sakura deal with real-life issues like jobs, money, school, and the meaning of life really made me like this character. Her pleased to meet you no longer bothers me as much as it once did. I can certainly say that Sakura Kasugano was one of my favorite Street Fighter characters now. Also, I would be remiss to not point out Sakura's love for Ryu. Sakura has been carrying around a picture of Ryu with her everywhere, so in my opinion, the story mode ending was insinuating that she wants to fuck Ryu and have his kids. I now use Sakura a lot more now, not in 5, but in Alpha and occasionally in Street Fighter 4 when I want to take a trip down memory lane. I tend to like characters because of their personalities and story. A good story mode can really influence the way I feel about a character. Okay, that's it for today's discussion. If you liked, leave a like. Feel free to subscribe, it'd be much appreciated. But with that being said, it's the Master Assailant, and I'm signing off.